Let's get out of here, I whispered, my voice soft yet intentional, laden with the burden I'd been carrying. Emily acted without a moment's pause, and Jack mirrored her instinctive drive, both propelled by an unvoiced sense of urgency. Their drinks lingered on the table, forsaken and unconsumed, as if they had never held significance. The atmosphere around us was dense with an unspoken weight, a shared understanding that hung in the silence. Beside me, my husband, Ryan, shifted restlessly, his fingers brushing against mine, tense and expectant, as if he could feel the tide drawing us onward. Across from us, Emily's hand rested on Jack's leg, her touch intentional, weaving a narrative all its own. The four of us, united by a choice already sealed in quietude, stepped forward, through the doors, past the murmurs of the bar, and into the embrace of the night that awaited us. Later, I languidly swirled my wine in its glass, observing Ryan from across the bed with a subtle intensity. You know they would, I remarked, my tone gentle yet laced with conviction, a slow, understanding smile playing at the corners of my mouth. His fingers gripped his glass, a subtle tension building, yet he remained silent, allowing my words to linger in the air like an unspoken challenge. I raised my eyes to his, and an unvoiced connection surged between us, charged, ephemeral, vibrant. If we desired, I whispered, my finger gliding along the edge of my glass with intent, we could possess them. His jaw shifted, his expression momentarily inscrutable, before he placed his drink down with a precision that seemed almost deliberate. You must be kidding, he remarked, his tone subdued, probing the situation. Am I? I responded, letting out a gentle breath, stretching leisurely against the pillows, my robe slipping slightly to capture the brief glance of his eyes before he composed himself. Didn't we come here to enjoy ourselves? His fingers curled gently against his leg, a quiet indication. Do you really find this enjoyable? He inquired, his voice teetering on the edge of skepticism and intrigue. I glided my fingertips over his wrist, sensing the warmth of his skin and the steady pulse thrumming beneath it. I believe it might be, I remarked, my tone airy yet incisive. I believe you feel the same way. He paused, ensnared in the instant, while I inclined my head, observing him intently. She was quite taken with you today, I remarked, allowing the comment to settle. That caught him, a delicate change in his breath, a fissure in his composure. She was merely... He caught himself, inhaled sharply, and then shook his head in disbelief. Amicable. I chuckled gently, the sound cozy and playful, absolutely. He swallowed hard, his eyes wandering to the balcony where the dark waves rolled on endlessly beyond the open doors. And Jack? His voice lowered, taking on a more tentative quality. I held my breath, biding my time until he met my gaze once more before I spoke. He noticed, I said, allowing a moment for the words to resonate. And he enjoyed it. Ryan's fingers danced over the sheets, filled with a restless energy. I drew nearer, my voice falling to a soft murmur. Reveal the truth to me, I pressed, my fingertips lightly brushing against his wrist, filled with purpose. If I proposed that we could obtain them, would you desire it? The silence lingered in the air, yet I was certain of the answer. The atmosphere was charged with an undeniable energy. I reclined, grasping my glass and savoring a measured sip, a smirk playing on my lips as I peered over the rim. Good, I remarked, allowing the air to thicken with the anticipation of what was to follow. Because tomorrow night, we take action. Tomorrow night arrived swiftly, crashing in like a tide we were powerless to escape. Their presence was undeniable as soon as we entered the room. Within Sophie, the younger wife, there was a serene composure as she sat with her legs crossed, effortlessly twisting the stem of her glass between her fingers, embodying an air of effortless sophistication. Liam, her husband, leaned in intimately, whispering softly against her ear, his words drowned out by the ambient buzz of the room. Yet, the moment their gazes landed on us, the atmosphere transformed. Without a doubt, without astonishment, a serene, shared awareness flowed gently through the atmosphere. I caught Sophie's eye, allowing a subtle, teasing smile to grace my lips as I moved closer to her. I didn't expect to see you again, I remarked casually, gauging the atmosphere. She shifted a bit, her eyes sparkling with a hint of mischief. Didn't you? She replied, her voice laced with a gentle challenge, a playful undertone that beckoned me closer. Behind me, Ryan and Liam engaged in a casual exchange, the sort of chatter that occupies the air yet carries no real significance. The genuine exchange unfolded in the delicate interplay between Sophie and me. I allowed my shoulder to graze hers, just enough to sense the warmth of her skin mingling with mine. "Are you having a good time?" I inquired, maintaining a relaxed tone. She inclined her head, pondering my presence for a brief moment. "More now," she said, her lips curling at the edges as she toyed with her glass, her gaze fixed on me, unyielding. I extended my hand for a napkin, my fingertips grazing hers in the process. A brief moment, a transient bond, just sufficient to sense that she experienced it as well. A breath slipped from Liam, a slight movement from Ryan, and the distance between us constricted, the moment solidifying as if a key had turned in a lock. "We need to leave this place," I whispered, my tone soft yet resolute. Sophie remained silent about our destination or the reasons behind it. She simply accepted it without question. With a subtle yet firm resolve, she placed her glass down and rose to her feet. Liam took her cue, Ryan mirrored my steps, and together the four of us made our way out. The bungalow door clicked shut behind us, enveloping us in the warm embrace of lantern light that danced in golden shadows throughout the room. The ocean whispered softly in the distance, a gentle resonance beneath the heavy warmth of the night air. We acted on impulse, our instincts leading the way. Ryan settled onto the couch next to me, his fingers tensing briefly against his knee before falling still, a subtle indication of his discomfort. Opposite us, Liam extended an arm along the back of the seat, his demeanor easygoing, yet his gaze remained alert, absorbing every detail around him. Sophie approached with a measured elegance, settling beside Ryan as her bare knee made contact with his leg. Intentional, unmistakable, and undeniably bold. "You're quiet," she pondered, tilting her head in his direction. Her voice airy yet tinged with intrigue. He let out a breath through his nose, a subtle shake of his head accompanying the gesture. "Just absorbing everything," he remarked, his voice calm yet cautious. With a sly smile, she placed her glass down effortlessly, her wrist flicking with nonchalance. "Good," she responded, allowing the word to hang in the air. Beside me, Liam shifted, his hand gliding onto my thigh, gentle and hesitant, yet undeniably filled with anticipation. I allowed him to remain, embracing the warmth that surrounded us. Sophie felt her gaze drawn to Ryan, her fingers gliding gently along the fabric of his sleeve, tracing a careful line down to his wrist. "You don't have to sit so still," she teased, her voice light yet laced with a hint of allure. His jaw tightened, a subtle hint of defiance. I traced my nails gently over Liam's hand, my voice soft and inviting. "You know, she's absolutely correct." Ryan's fingers flexed, suspended in that delicate balance between control and destiny. Sophie leaned in closer, her breath brushing against his cheek as she murmured, "I think you enjoy the thrill of temptation." His lips parted slightly, yet silence enveloped him, his breath catching in a moment of hesitation. Next to me, Liam leaned closer, his breath a gentle warmth against my ear as he whispered, "And you?" I hummed gently, leaning in slightly to absorb the warmth emanating from his skin. "Why not discover for yourself?" I responded, my tone inviting and welcoming. His hold on my thigh grew stronger, resolute and assured. Across from us, Ryan let out a sharp breath as Sophie took her place beside him, her hand lingering just a heartbeat longer than needed. His hands rose, not in a gesture of rejection but to embrace the significance of the moment, gently resting on her waist. Her fingers danced down his chest, her voice a blend of playfulness and understanding.